Saturday, all the numbers aligned. Florida scored 111, and Arkansas scored, 77. And those are the Florida Gators. They end up getting the win, and in the process, they clinch the SEC regular season title. Welcome to Southeast Sports Plus. I'm Gerhard Mathangani, joined by Patrick Walsh. Patrick, this is a team in Florida, which it's hilarious how we were describing them 4 months ago. And it looked like, they lost a lot of games.
I sound a little silly.
I mean, I think we all do. And it stands to, it's not crazy to think, okay, well, obviously this is a team that won the national championship and then lost to Walter Clayton Jr. And it's like, okay, well, they're going to take a step back. And it looked like they were going to take a giant step back. And they have made all of the right moves here lately, and now they're the regular season champions.
I mean, I think before the season, I had them as a 5 or a 6 seed, and now if they win the SEC title, you could make a real argument that they should be the number 1 seed yet again. I mean, what this team has been able to do ever since losing at home to Auburn is just unreal. I don't know if it just unlocks something in them because, I mean, when you're in competitive sports, there's nothing that fuels you more than losing. And I mean, we could talk about this little golf match that our former co-host and I had over the weekend. And let me tell you, I did not like losing. So for these Florida Gators with something actual and real on the line, a.k.a. an SEC title, potential national title, I didn't really have anything on the line, and I still was mad. I can only imagine how mad they were after losing to Auburn. And what have they done? Just rattled off, I believe, 9 straight wins now?
I was just looking that up. I think it was,
I think it's 9.
Yeah, I think it's 9 straight. They haven't lost in the month of February.
Yeah.
And it's just been absolutely insane. And once again, it feels like this is not a team that is just treading water. It looks like they're getting better game to game, and they put together, I think it's their highest score. I think 111 is their highest scoring output of the season so far this year.
But it wasn't just one player in particular. We had been talking about how good their front court was all season.
Mm-hmm.
This game, it was depth scoring. 7, 10-plus point scores. All 5 starters were in double digits. Absolutely demolished Arkansas on the glass, 51-31. Ruben Chinyelu with another double-double. I believe it was his 17th of the year. Unfortunately, the stats database was down this morning, so I couldn't check and see if he leads Division I, but he's got to be
close. Yeah, for sure.
And you can see there on the bottom, they won by 34 points. That was tied for the worst loss in John Calipari's career. I believe the other one was 2018 against Duke.
Mm-hmm. And this team seems to be, and you almost hesitate to forecast too far down the road. It just seems to be a team that is poised for a really nice six game run at the NCAA tournament. Of course, they have to close out the regular season. They'll do so against Mississippi State and then Kentucky. But then after that is the number 1 seed in the SEC tournament. I could see this team, even without an SEC tournament championship, I could see them winning the tournament championship. But even without it, I could see this team poised to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, really, their ceiling is another national title. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've been able to show that over the last 9 games that they've won. Right now, they're a projected 2 seed. It would take some miracles, I think, at this point to get the number 1 seed just because they have 6 losses. I feel like that would be a little bit unheard of. But as we'll get into here in a little bit with the AP poll, they're up to 5.
Mm-hmm.
The AP poll doesn't really hold as much weight. But if UConn were to lose these final 2 games and go out early in the Big East, I think you could make a serious argument that Florida could be that last number 1 seed.
Yeah, me too. And I think that once you break this team down, we've talked about this a pretty good bit over the course of the last in this winning streak for sure, is that their big men are really coming to play. And they've been led with them all season. Last year was really guard-led, but they had a big man presence. This year, it kind of feels the opposite. It feels like they're led by their bigs down low, and they can still play small ball up top.
Right, and I mean, when you go back to before conference play even started, this team really didn't have that bad of a loss. I mean, you go back and look at it, you could maybe say TCU was a bad loss, just seeing how the Horned Frogs have turned out. But ever since then, I mean, before that, the opening loss to Arizona. Well, guess what?
Arizona
they're pretty
really
good.
Yeah.
I believe they lost on the road to Duke, who's the number 1 team in the country right now, and that was a really close game. So they can hang with literally anybody. The one really intriguing one was the one to open up SEC play.
Yes.
The loss against Missouri.
At Missouri, yeah.
But since then, 14 of their last 15 games they've won.
Yeah, and the only other loss, the two kind of head-scratching losses are both in the SEC in Missouri and Auburn, especially Auburn. Missouri's actually a pretty good basketball team. The home game against Auburn, but you mentioned it, they're non-conference games. At the time, it looked like, okay, this team might be slipping, but then when you look back now, it's Arizona, it's outside, like you mentioned, TCU, but it's Duke and UConn, so it's teams that obviously have proven themselves to be really good towards the end of the year. We've talked about, obviously they're big guys in Hawk and Condon. Hawk was the main guy on Saturday, being able to help put this Arkansas team away.
Yeah, I believe he finished with 22 points. Yeah. 22 points. I mean, it just seems like every night you take a look at who Florida plays, and then you also take a look at the scoring totals. It's either him or it's Condon, or sometimes it is Xavier Lee. But when you have such a balanced attack, you're never like the fact that he was able to score 20-plus points with 6 others in double figures. That's almost more impressive than scoring like 40 points, in my opinion. Just because everyone's getting their fair share. And something that Todd Golden talked about, I actually drove through Gainesville for the viewers at home. Gerhard knows this. I was going to Tampa this past weekend to watch a Lightning game. Unfortunately, don't ask me about that because that was just a nightmare. And I wanted to stop in Gainesville because I'd never been there. I like going and seeing the different college campuses and stuff like that. Like I find enjoyment in that. Well, I wasn't really don't take offense to this, Florida Gators, but I wasn't really impressed at first until I rolled right up on the campus. I was like, this is a lot nicer.
It's legit.
And I drove right by the swamp, and everyone was getting their graduation pictures. And then I drove by the Stephen O'Connell Center, and I completely forgot that game day was there.
Yeah.
And I saw the game day truck out front. But, I mean, with all of those distractions, they still won by 43 points.
That's insane. The fact that they won, like you said, with all those distractions, all those potential distractions, being the main game in the country. We got a chance to hear from Florida head coach and defending national champion Todd Golden on how his team was able to handle all of those distractions.
With game day here, just a lot of distractions, all great distractions, but distractions. And I thought our guys handled the moment and the opportunity like professionals. They were great and locked in all day. As a staff, we felt really good about our opportunity tonight with the way our guys approached practice and the way they handled walkthrough today and just the mentality that they had displayed. And, I thought Arkansas kind of got us on our heels early with their speed, and once we kind of got comfortable and got our legs underneath us, we never looked back. I thought we played a great game, really in all phases. Held them to 40 from the field, 30 from 3, only gave up 4 made threes. Probably fouled a little too much in the second half, but fantastic on the glass, a little loose with the ball in the second half, but the game was pretty much decided by that point, and just really proud that we can call ourselves SEC champions.
Before we flow over to Arkansas, one of the things about this game highlights one of their strengths is the fact they are so deep. 10 different players scored, and just like Coach said, game got kind of out of hand. That's probably the reason why. But every starter was in double figures. They had a double figure guy off the bench as well. This team, not only are they good at the top, but they're good. They're good from a depth perspective. So even a loss or a bad game from a star, it doesn't really hurt them.
Yeah, and I mean, you take a look and they can score. They will never have a problem scoring, and if they do, there's something off. But even when they do, they've got their defensive guys really stepping up. I mean, we just talked about Chinyelu and his 17th double-double this year. 12 points, but 16 rebounds. I mean, we had talked about how they just absolutely mauled them on the glass. And, I mean, you cannot win a game being out-rebounded by 20. You just take a look at Alabama earlier against Purdue. I mean, they didn't stand a chance because – I mean, you can get away with being out-rebounded by 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10. 20, no. I mean, 20 rebounds, that's going to equate to at least 15 points right there.
Yep, and that's exactly what they did. They took them off the glass, dominated them there, and now Florida rolls on in a game, like he said, that had a lot of major potential distractions going on along with it, and a really good Arkansas team who probably had the best player in the country, playing some of the best in the country, and Darius Acuff being able to come away with that win. Coach Todd Golden also talked about the depth of this roster and how that helps them moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing really good basketball right now. I think we're getting contributions from a number of guys. I think that's probably allowed us to become an even better team. You know, you see what Isaiah and Herb did in the first half. I think they combined for 18 points, and Isaiah, I think, was plus 21 in the first half or something like that, which is absolutely insane for a reserve player to have that type of plus-minus in such a big game. But it's been the story of our conference season. It's been the story of our run. You know, we're getting a lot of great contributions from guys, and when we're able to get rest for our starters and those guys can come in and keep the score going the right direction, you know, it's huge for us. And against a lot of these teams that we play, they're really talented, but they don't have the depth that we do, and we're able to wear teams down that way. 8-0 in February. Didn't lose in February. Got to try to not lose in March either.
It's a good point there towards the end. They didn't lose a single game in the month of February, and now that March Madness is just around the corner, they have a chance to extend that into March. Another thing about their opponent in Arkansas, we saw the lack of depth in the Alabama game. It also showed up once again here this game. And it's hard to say that when a freshman scores 17 points that it's not a great night, but yeah. Darius Acuff set the bar so high for himself. He scored 49 points earlier in the month against Alabama, 17 points, 6 of 19 from the floor. And it feels like the freshman might have hit a bit of a wall in the month of February, and the team kind of followed suit.
Yeah, and we had heard from John Calipari and Courtney Mims earlier a few weeks ago ahead of that, or after the Alabama game, that Darius Acuff wasn't a boot.
Yeah.
Before the Alabama game.
And
I mean, when we heard that, it was like, wait, really? I mean, he just scored, 49 points, and he was in a boot earlier the week?
Right.
It almost makes you wonder, and I hate that we have to jump to this, but it's like, is there something serious going on here, or is it just other guys stepping up? Because, I mean, you go back to the midweek game last week, he scored a cool 20 points that we called it. And then this game, he follows it up 17 points and went 6 for 19 from the field. Now, I know he scores a lot of his points at the foul line. He does a really good job of drawing fouls, getting to the basket. But there's got to be some concern here heading into March just because of some of these losses. You can go back to earlier in the season, that Auburn loss, that where they got absolutely annihilated, looks horrible right now.
Yeah.
And this is what, their second or third annihilation?
Yeah, I would say, their third real beatdown.
Yeah.
Kentucky beat them by what, 8 to 10 points.
Yeah.
And so,
but I mean, they were
Georgia
in that game though.
Yeah, and when they lost to Georgia. Another double-digit loss. I think from when Arkansas was playing great, they have a chance to beat anybody. But to me, they're so limited in certain ways. Like I said, they don't have depth. So if a game goes to overtime, double overtime, like we saw against Alabama, they can run out of steam. You're leaning on a freshman that may or may not be a little bit more banged up than Arkansas's, kind of led us to believe. It just seems to me that things almost have to go so perfectly for this team in order for them to be able to win it.
And I mean, I've talked about the three-point defensive struggles under John Calipari, but I've also started to think about when's the last time he had a truly talented big man? Like generational talent like he does with guards. I mean, you
Anthony
can't even
Davis?
say Sheboy.
No.
I mean, because he's more of like a 3 or a 4. Yeah.
I would say maybe Anthony Davis at Kentucky. That's what? That's 2012.
14 years ago.
Yeah.
He has gone 14 years. He can get all the guards and the wings he wants, but, I mean, he's still rolling out Nick Pringle, and Nick Pringle really isn't, he's a journeyman.
Right.
He's not like that true 5-star talent that we've started to see him talking about John Calipari pick up with the guards.
Right.
I mean, the guard track list goes forever. I mean, we could talk the entire 2 hours about those guards.
Yeah.
Really, the only big man he's been able to recruit is Anthony Davis. Outside of that, they struggle there.
Yeah, and it shows up on the court, and like you mentioned, the free throw shooting, especially for this team. John Calipari, who's always good for a great soundbite after any game, win or lose, talked after the game.
Well, it was going to come back to our will versus their will. And if you stop playing, they keep moving their feet and put you in bad positions. And they did that to us a bunch. We had some opportunities to rebound where they just beat us to a ball. It was us and them, and they got it. Again, they got how many offensive rebounds did they end up having?
16.
Yeah, 16. They had 51 rebounds overall. They out-rebounded us by 20. Come on. You're not going to win that game. You're not. I wish it would have gone faster.
He's so good. He's always so good for a great soundbite.
That's added to my montage that I'll be playing at the end of the year.
Yeah, we are definitely going to have a best of, because college basketball coaches, football coaches have always been great, but basketball coaches to me this year they've turned it up a little. And maybe
see, but the thing is, my montage might just be the same three coaches on repeat.
Yeah, Calipari, Mick Cronin, and
I guess
Sean Miller.
Sean Miller, Vic Schaefer, Mick Cronin.
Vic Schaefer, yeah, Vic Schaefer.
I mean, outside of that, we've had maybe Mark Pope had one early in the season.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of maybe Todd Golden had a good one, but he's usually pretty reserved. He knows what to say and what not to say.
Exactly.
But I mean, there are some coaches like Sean Miller and Vic Schaefer, the old school. I don't care what you can go ahead and find me. I don't really care.
Right. Yeah.